In life, it's not just about where you've come from, it's about where you're headed. That seems to be the animating message of this week's doubleheader of Matot and Masei, which tracks the desert travels of the Jewish people and gives a city-by-city accounting of everywhere the nation had been as they moved from east to west, eventually arriving at the banks of the Jordan River, a river that most of the nation would eventually cross to enter Israel proper. Most, but not all. That's because 2.5 tribes, the tribes of Reuven, Gad, and half of Manasseh, insisted on staying on the eastern side of the river to enjoy its lusher and greener pastures. When these 2.5 tribes present the claim to Moshe and ask to stay on the eastern side of the river, Moshe, the leader, must make a difficult choice. Grant the request and effectively split the nation into two, with some living on the eastern side of the Jordan and others living on the western side, or negate the request and begrudgingly force these 2.5 tribes to cross the Jordan and live in a place they don't want to be. Moshe wisely opts for compromise and proposes the following solution. So long as these 2.5 tribes join the nation in arms during the 7-year period of military conquest, followed by an additional 7-year period of land allocation, then they would be allowed to live on the eastern side of the river. Moshe realized the secret to Jewish survival. We're strongest when we're most united, and couldn't entertain the possibility that during this tumultuous time in Jewish history that the nation would be split into two. He therefore argued that as long as the nation remained whole during a very critical time in its history, he could entertain the possibility that 2.5 tribes would remain connected, albeit from a distance, across the Jordan River on the eastern side. During this time of the year, when we think about all of the terrible things that happened to the Jewish people historically around the time of the Second Temple's destruction, it's important to realize the wisdom of Moshe's compromise. We're strongest when we think in the plural, and we can avoid episodes like the destruction of the temple if we think together and in the plural, realizing that the strength to Jewish survival occurs when we're most united and most connected.